I love that we all come together to support one another to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in. Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining our first webinar of the day. Just some house rules before our panel get going. We are streaming live on Facebook and on Instagram, so we are oversubscribed today. So if you've got friends or colleagues that haven't been able to make the webinar session, please direct them to Professional Beauty GCC's Facebook or Instagram page, and I will pop that into the chat shortly. There will be an opportunity to ask our panel a question at the end of the session. Please pop your questions into the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Alternatively, there is an opportunity, if you raise your hand at any point, for me to bring you into the actual webinar at the end. So this leaves me to hand over to Maria, who will begin our panel session. Hi Maria, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you to Professional Beauty for allowing us to be here today. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about when we all met in February at the Professional Beauty Show. It was the same panel that we had on that day. And I was asking the panel, what were their thoughts about 2020? And all of us were very positive about 2020 with the expo coming along. We all felt like this was going to be a really, really good year. Not for one moment did we know that 6 weeks later we would be in the current situation that we're in. So for now, let me introduce to you the panel. They're going to introduce themselves so we know exactly who's talking today.
To Salon. I manage and look after the salon. We've been open just under a year.
Who's after?
Hey, hi everyone. My name's Tara and I'm in Abu Dhabi. I have 2 hair and beauty salons and currently in the process of opening my 3rd.
Hello, hi, I'm Shabana Karim. I'm the owner and founder of House of Spa, which houses 2 brands, the Nail Spa and Marquee, and we have 22 locations across Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Hello.
Yes, Galina.
My name is Galina Spierling. I own 1 single salon in Dubai. It's 14 years old, and I'm also into supplying and training people, supplying people with products and training. So it's hair and nails and supplies.
Hi, my name's Anthony Walsh. I'm the owner and managing director of Main Salon Dubai, and we have 1 salon.
And Ruksher.
Microphone's off.
Did everyone hear that about Ruksher?
No.
Ruksher, can you just introduce yourself again, please?
Hi, I'm Ruksher Malik. I'm the owner and partner of Pasterls Beauty Salon.
Great, thank you. And for those that may not know me, my name is Maria Dowling. I'm the owner of the Maria Dowling Hair Salon. I have 1 branch. Okay, so let's get started then with today. So what we're going to do is be asking different people questions. So let's start with Ruksher. Ruksher, when you were told to close the salon, what were your initial thoughts and feelings?
Obviously, there was so much news about the coronavirus that was going around. We were already sort of semi-mentally prepared that it was coming. And because, as you know, on our salon owners group, plus through Dubai municipality, we had been receiving continuous news and updates, which really was really quite helpful to sort of partly mentally prepare us all. And actually, the day before we closed, I was on the verge of deciding to do that. As all of you know, we were all in discussion: should we, shouldn't we? What's the right thing to do for everybody, the clients and our staff. So we sort of were literally on the verge of closing when they decided that mall was going to close, where my Mercato branch is. And since that closed, then we finally just said, we're just going to close all the branches. I think we all jointly pretty much took a decision together that that was the right thing to do. Of course, initially was, wow, never have we experienced this strange and unusual time, really, where nobody's going to work, nobody's earning money, and it's not just us, it's the world over, Dubai, everywhere. Everyone's going through the same emotions. Initially, a bit of fear, a little bit of worry as to what's going to happen with salaries, how are we going to pay, what are the rules, what are the regulations. But I think as it all went along, and sort of it actually did happen, I had a sigh of relief almost, that I didn't have to worry about what to do with staff, clients, the sanitization, etc. And I knew that we were making the best decision. So, that sort of helped me get through the sort of emotional side of things of closing the business.
Anthony?
Yeah, I think actually like Ruksher, when the government had ordered us to close, I did feel a little bit relieved, because for the 2 weeks coming up to the point where we were told to close, was kind of a battle of a decision of what the right thing was to do. And obviously we were trying to protect our staff, trying to protect ourselves, but also trying to keep them with a job and an income and everything like that. So it was a tough decision. And I think fear of the unknown and not having a set date that we can plan towards or something like that. So it was the right thing to do, and I think we all decided together that we would wait for the government decision, because obviously the strong leadership, we're very lucky in Dubai that we have that guidance and we have that kind of entity of Dubai municipality and everything like that. So yeah, it was fear of the unknown, I guess, but relief at the same time.
Was there anything, anyone else? I mean, for me, I just felt like I was so tired of all the sterilization. The fear of clients coming in, temperatures being taken, wearing masks. It was just becoming so much that at the end, it was like, it was a relief, the relief when we actually made the decision. And a lot of us made the decision together, and we actually closed, didn't we, the day before it was announced.
Yeah.
So
I think that just goes to show how valuable it is that we are all together. We're all competitors, but together again we are stronger. And there's like 60 plus of us in a group, and we took guidance from each other every day for how long coming up to this, and for how long since we've been closed. We've all been on Zoom chats and on chats, and it's been absolutely invaluable. And I just think what a community, like how amazing is this for us all to be competitors with each other, yet guide each other, advise each other, and our friends. So it's great.
Absolutely. Tara, now you have mentioned that you're opening up your third salon, right? But has there been any moments where going through this, you've thought, I'm just going to throw in the towel? You've got commitments now.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was never an option for me. Over the last few years, I've really worked with like mental health and staying positive, and I feel like I was like almost fully prepared for this situation, sort of mentally. So in terms of throwing the towel on, no, that has never ever been an option for me. How I've tried to see it is how to become better in all ways, not only for the team, but literally just spending this time sort of redeveloping everything that we do to come back stronger. And in terms of the third salon, it's probably going to do me a favor, because now I can, I have a great reason, obviously, to be able to push the rent date back for hopefully another 6 months. So, it's just a way of looking at it, I suppose. We can see bad or good in anything, but I've completely surrounded myself over these last 2 weeks of how to become better and stronger, for definite.
Yeah. Galina, have you anything you'd like to add to that? Your salon is how old now, the new salon?
We just, it was actually unlucky situation for me because I've invested a lot into a new salon, and we moved in August, and I made a large salon, large space in Russell Road, 10 hairdressing chairs. So it's the 6, basically we are a capacity of 35 working spaces. And for me, yes, it was tough, and closing all together, same as for everyone who mentioned before, that it was a relief that I'm not the only person who's taken this decision. It's a tough decision, but yes, it's a relief that I don't have to take care now physically myself for the team and for the customers' safety. And yeah.
Great.
I love the time that I'm allowed now to rest and to wake up later, and when answering the call of someone, occasional call, I don't have to justify myself, oops, I took a day off. No, I took a month off and everybody else did. So I love that for this reason.
You know what, I think on the other side, you're right. We'll get to that later. Anthony, did you do anything to minimize the impact on your staff?
Sorry, say that again, Maria?
Did you do anything to minimize the impact on your staff? Like, what did you do to help your staff get through this?
I'm actually very lucky. They're all very positive. They've actually been helping me a lot, in fairness to them, because obviously you go through the different emotions of the clothes, and it's like your baby, isn't it? So I was going through a little bit of grief the first couple of days, I would say. And the team were really positive, and to be honest, we've all been, like, individually, we've been in touch with each other every day. They've been taking full advantage of the online education. I've been working on some things for them to obviously come back, and you know, I've been using the time to figure out like in-salon education and developing them individually, kind of. For us to come back stronger and better. And yeah, I think everything that's available online now, like, you know, the education, there's some great, the Pro Beauty have done the virtual week. We've had like some things with Alan Austin Smith. It's been an amazing resource kind of for everybody. And yeah, they've just been keeping themselves going with that.
How did you get on with your staff?
It's been interesting. You see what staff step up and what staff don't. I've had a lot of really good ideas from some of my team, and obviously trying to keep them motivated is really important. And trying to do it over a screen it's great, these things we have, but I'm just trying to figure out who's stronger at what. Like, some of them are stronger at social media. I'm getting some of them to get better at their nail art and everything. So I think just really staying connected with them, and giving them even like little exercises to keep their brains positive. And also myself as well, like I've been trying to get my creative head back on, which I think when you're so busy, you miss that for a while. So it's been nice thinking, oh, I've got myself back. I've got my creative head back on again.
In a way, I don't want to lose that when we get back to work. I mean, that's almost a fear now, isn't it? That when we get back to work, now I'm starting to, not enjoy, that's not the right word, but I can see all the other things I could be doing. I don't want to get back into the standing behind a chair for all those hours, coming home tired, on your day off, exhausted. You know, we're all starting to see now a different way of life. Maybe it's a wake-up call for all of us.
Totally,
you know?
Totally agree with that.
Absolutely.
I remember a wise woman once telling me, Ruksher Malik, that work on your business, not in your business. And I think, like, oh my God, has it rang with me the last couple of weeks. And she told me this years ago, by the way. We're talking years ago. And now it's kind of, I realize what she's talking about.
Isn't it funny when someone says something to you years ago that only in years to come you're like,
yeah.
Oh, I now get it. I've had a few people say that to me. Shabana, question. Have you been able to get any support from your landlords? Now you've got a lot of branches, so this would obviously be very important to you. Any support from your landlords or other suppliers regarding your rent?
So, Maria, I would say that whether you have 22 locations like we have, or one is a standalone salon or spa, I think we're all in the same boat. What we've done is we've divided our landlords into two groups, the mall landlords and the non-mall landlords. And of course, I think people who are in malls have heard back from the likes of Majid Al Fateh and, the Zarunis, the Mercato Mall. Some of them have given us rent freeze or rent relief for the time of the close down, of the shutdown, of the lockdown. And others we're still waiting to hear back. It's the non-mall landlords that the communication has been very slow coming. So I feel we're all of us in the same boat, honestly.
Yes, I think, Galina, you were lucky. Your landlord got through to you straight away.
Yeah, we were actually not closed yet, and we got an announcement. Our landlord is brilliant, bless him. So he notified all of the tenants of the mall that I am in that we are getting 3 months free rent. It was announced a few times as if, we wouldn't notice such news. So yes, we've got 3 months free rent now, and really, really, really happy to have this help. So it wasn't even us contemplating or asking or stepping forward. It was their own initiative before we officially were closed.
I think you were very lucky, because most people I'm speaking to, and I know myself, that there's no relief whatsoever. I mean, I know with the office that we're trying to contact, they're not even answering. So it's like, I don't feel
Yeah, I literally just paid, I think like 2 days before we closed down, I paid 6 months rent for one of my salons, plus a huge tax bill. So that was just before we closed down. So I'm just getting my husband out of the way.
Ruksher.
So we were actually very lucky, like Shabana is also in the same boat at Mercato. Mercato straight away, without even asking for anything, they came up with a notice to say that we have 3 months rent free. Our standalone villa yet hasn't come back. They are going to review the situation and decide. Ritz-Carlton gave us, for whatever time we're going to be closed rent free. And unfortunately, the Ritz-Carlton location the Ritz hotel itself has shut down just now temporarily till the situation improves till the end of May. So we're going to have to get our Ritz team in with the rest of our teams. Luckily, we have those locations to do that. Otherwise, I'm so grateful that we have the other locations that I can accommodate all my staff.
Yes. Emily, how did you find with your rents?
We're still in negotiation with our landlords at the moment. That's something I'm leaving my big boss to deal with. Thankfully, I think he can negotiate a little bit better than I can. So,
true. Ruksher, how have you been keeping yourself busy while at home? Have you been working on restructuring or spring cleaning?
I don't think I have been busier ever. I mean, I have to say, I wake up in the morning. I made it very clear to myself right from the beginning that I was going to use this time to really, not only just on the business and my team, but also personally on myself. I was not going to slip up on my exercise. I was not going to slip up on anything. And from day one, I wake up at my regular time, a little later than I normally have. Friday is my rest day, but the other days it's 8 to 8. If I'm not motivating my staff with some videos that I send them little videos of myself talking and, just keeping them on track. There's so much amazing, amazing education at the moment that I now, after 3 weeks, I have to actually sit down and choose the education I'm going to do. So Natalie, my general manager, yesterday, she said, you've got to pick and choose. Because otherwise I'm just non-stop from one Zoom to another call. And professional beauty has provided us with so much amazing education that, luckily we can get the recorded version. So now that's what I'm doing if I want to. Right? But I'm looking at very many different in the business. Like the team is itself educating themselves so much. And I've been getting such lovely messages from my team. that thank you so much for this opportunity that we are able to actually educate ourselves. And L'Oreal Access, as you know, Maria, you have a L'Oreal salon, has the most amazing stuff on there that otherwise you don't get the time to actually sit down and do. And I've been doing personal stuff as well, personal development, positive sort of workshops, etc., which I can then share with my team. So I've been utilizing the time, I think, very well.
Yeah, I mean, even like we've got Fowler Academy, let's say, for example, and he's given a whole month free of education. I mean, for any member of staff to pay for that education would be huge. First of all, we wouldn't have the time to send them off to do the education. They'd have to take a complete break from work, and to pay for it would be like a lot of money. So I think you're right. Staff need to look at it as ourselves and our staff, that this is really, in a way, a gift. To think all these big leaders of the industry are given their knowledge and information to everyone. It's amazing, really.
I really don't think, Maria, that there is any other industry that has at the moment so much free education going around. At least I'm not aware of it. Maybe I'm not looking into it. But our industry as in general, I mean, the stalwarts of the industry such an amazing platform to worldwide stylists and beauticians and nail techs. Galina did a fabulous education the other day on this, which my team has just loved.
Yes, that was really, really good. Tara, you're an advocate for the fantastic hairdresser. So he's doing his education at the moment, which is great for salon owners, great for motivating staff.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my world changed last year. This time last year, me and Anthony went and did our business masters, and just his way of teaching and explaining, and just, it's exactly where you put your focus is where you get your results. And I think for a lot of us, me and Anthony quickly learned that our focus may have been in the wrong place, so we were getting the wrong results. So yeah, that has been a complete game changer. We did our business masters, and now monthly I do their business coaching with a coach. And yeah, the attention to detail and the passion that goes behind it. And I mean, he's been in the industry for so long and worked with so many great names. It's just, I cannot recommend it enough.
That's the Alan Austin Smith, the fantastic hairdresser, if anyone wants to look it up. Shabana, how have you been keeping your staff busy and motivated?
So Maria, I don't get involved with the staff. As you know, I'm hands off the business. Salman runs it. I can talk about myself. I know they're taken care of. That's what I've been updated. The details I'm not. I know they're in good spirits. I did send across a lovely letter to them, but I'm a little bit further removed from the business. I can talk about myself. It started off with this fear. So I went through different various phases. Starts off with this fear. You freeze because you think, how long is this going to go on for? The unknown, and then you unfreeze yourself. You fuel this situation to look for the opportunities. And then I said, no, we have to use it, like all of you, as a learning and growing opportunity. I've been on many webinars, the professional beauty webinars. I found very interesting and useful. And I'm just going to sign up for a very interesting course being run by the Courtyard Playhouse on improvisation, just for the fun of it. And then, of course, I've joined a meditation group. We meditate daily. I found that hugely beneficial. And then, of course, connect. I've never been more connected with friends and family, and it's lovely. And the fun part is we play board games at home in the middle of the week, something that we've never done before. I am fortunate that I have my two boys with me at home. We're isolating or quarantine or locking down together. So yeah, it's something that we have to find the opportunity, and look at the positives and really, really make the best of it.
Yes, that's good. I think you're right about when you said that about all the emotions, because I even know it myself. It was the fear of when it happened, leaving work. It was, okay, what now? You've got people that you're responsible for. And I have to say, I did have one day where I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? I mean, if anyone didn't have that day, I'd be surprised. I think all of us at one stage must have had a day. But then we are salon owners and we are leaders. Of course, we pulled it back in, the reins, and we decided, let's go for it. but everyone must be going through the same emotions. So Emily, how are you doing with your staff to keep them motivated?
Well, thank you to Professional Beauty. The webinars have been great. Even myself yesterday watching who Tara was talking about, Alan Austin Smith, he said one of the main excuses is we all say we haven't got enough time, and well, we've all got a lot of time on our hands now. So keeping up to date with that. My staff, a lot of them have been doing some of the online with Ben. He's been brilliant. Myself, I've actually managed to get to grips with my shortcut system. I know earlier in the year I was saying, oh God, I don't know if I need to change it. And it's just getting to know it and understand it. And I've got a really good understanding of it now. So going back to the salon stronger and understanding my figures and everything a little bit more has been good for me. And also connecting with clients, I think, is a huge benefit this time. I think when picking up the phone and just calling out to them and seeing how they are, they really want to hear that familiar voice at the end of the phone. So I found that really, really good.
That's important, isn't it? I mean, when you just said there about you've been looking at a lot more at the figures, I mean, I think of quite a few of us on this panel. We did a course with HBS, High Performance Stylist in the UK. And they did a boot camp recently. I would highly recommend that boot camp when it comes up again for anyone to do. And it's mainly looking at your business from a salon view. And what it does is it makes you look a lot more at your figures. Now, I think for a lot of us who are creative people, we maybe stick to the creative side and we dabble in the figures as much as we have to. But what they make you do is get more into your figures. So what I'm doing now is I'm spending a lot more time delving into the figures and taking this opportunity to have the time to do that. So that's really quite good. So that's HBS for anyone who's out there and is interested in doing that, look it up. Okay, let's see. Galina, have you managed to find other forms of revenue while still being closed, selling products online? As you're a distributor, have you got anything like that? Are you still selling products or people?
Actually, unfortunately, I am B2B. So for us, business is closed and businesses are not buying much now. We don't have much of a retail products. We do have professional products that are in use. So therefore, overall, I will tell you, listening to all of you, I am again doing it somehow different. It might be very wrong, but first of all, I've given my staff complete silence and freedom of me because I'm quite hands-on person. I'm always in the salon and I'm always controlling the education throughout the year and engagement with the staff. And now, as I am taking this time for reshuffle, for the numbers to look at and so on, I've given the same freedom to the staff. That's one. Second, it's unfortunate we did not do anything online before, and as a supplier or as a salon, the only thing is we are just keeping engaged with customers that are talking to us. So basically, we are on a hibernating mode, not like most of you are. So just assuring that we are there, we will be soon open, but we will not, we cannot promise the date. So as a supplier, nothing. Super professional equipment. As a salon, no, I didn't switch on any retail or anything that was going large, no.
Ruksher?
Maria, so initially when the lockdown wasn't in that first week very, very strict, we were able to send our salon driver up when a client over WhatsApp ordered some products. And of course, we are on the BGX platform, as most of you are. That has proved to be amazing. So I've actually reached out to L'Oreal and our suppliers to basically send us a large stock, because now we can't access the salons, right? So that whole situation of the driver delivery went out of the window very quickly. And then, Anthony and me had been in talks about, setting up an e-shop, which he has done already, which I'm sure he'll speak about. And I've started that process as well. Something I'd been wanting to do for a while, but didn't know, there were licenses and all that sort of stuff. But now, with BGX, actually, we are having we're having some amazing. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd see my trading summary come in with 2,000 dirhams, and Nisha would think, yes, how fabulous is that? So I'm grateful for everything that comes in. BGX has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely, I have to say that they have been just brilliant. They have been supporting us so beautifully. They're managing it with their bikes, and we leave the stock with them, and they're managing it out of their own place. So we are able to reach out to our clients because our clients are messaging us. They are running out of, root color, for example. What do? You don't want them to use box color. So then you have the L'Oreal Retouch spray, the root touch spray we've been sort of promoting for them. And they can get that from BGX. So I feel that this time we have sort of, the way we have tied up with BGX has been actually really amazing. And they've been so, so supportive. And I'm now doing the back work for starting our e-shop.
I think, you know what, a lot of us were like that. We were all trying to get into the online, but we just didn't make it in time. I mean, it was a thought, we just didn't have time. Anthony, you went ahead and did it. How did it work for you? Was there a license, Anthony, that you have to get, a special license?
So there is a type of license that you get with your payment gateway, but actually this has been on my plan for the last couple of months. It just so happened that it was perfect timing. It happened 2 weeks before. Nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't smart enough to predict this or anything like that. So it was just perfect timing, really. With the license is done through your like we are with Network, so they're doing our payment gateway for us, and the license is with them. And it's not a distribution, so it falls under your trade license once you have the license on your website.
Oh.
So
who is that?
It's actually,
Anthony, who did you go through?
So my payment gateway is with Network International.
Okay, just
yeah. And that's where you will get your license, everything like that. And then you obviously incorporate and build it into your website to have a shop, and then they do the rest.
Very good.
But yeah, obviously the first 2 weeks of the closure, it was really, really good. There was a lot of orders. We were able to distribute them quickly and efficiently. But unfortunately, since this lockdown now, we've kind of had to put a stop to orders until the 24-hour lockdown is lifted. So.
Okay, so at the moment, just to let everyone know, we've got BGX. You can contact them about doing online ordering. We also have Maddie International. Maddie International will be starting now from next week. So if any salon owners out there are working with Maddie International, they're going to be working with some of the salons to do online deliveries. And we also have Ideal, which is the Davines products, and they have many different ranges. So these are the 3 areas now that they're going to make it much easier for us, because what they're going to do is basically we will take the order, they'll do all the work. So, but we'll still get money coming into the salon. So I think it's really great that what they're doing is still supporting the salons during this time. I mean, I would also do the same, but they're not at the moment. Anthony.
Yeah, I just want to give a little shout out to Haytham in Ideal, because he very kindly called me last week and obviously noticed that we had an online shop, and offered any stock that he had in his warehouse to be uploaded to the online shop, not for the salon having to buy it, and to be delivered directly to the client. So I think that was a great initiative for him and for Ideal, and to support everyone's business in this time. And it's a sale for a both, so I think fair play to him on that.
Very good, yeah, excellent. Good shout out. Shabana, now you've got hair and you've got nails and you've got different sides to your beauty. What do you think the new normal in the future will be? And what do you think this means to us?
So, what I've been thinking about this a lot, and so it's impacting us in 2 ways. On the economic front, we've all talked about it, people out of jobs, there's insecurity about the future, this lockdown period. So of course, we've been hit on the financial side. People are, even when we come back, I see there'll be frugality. Some people will not come back to salons, but really, we really need to look at the behavioral and the psychology of what is going on in their heads, in the customers' heads. So I truly believe that the customers who left us when we closed our doors a few weeks or nearly a month ago now are going to be very different to the ones who come back to us. And are we going to be ready for that? So, you know, what is it? The distancing, social distancing is going to play a huge part. It's going to have a mental impact on when they come back to us. They're going to expect that distancing to go on because the virus is not going away. We know that it's going to be around for 18 months to 2 years. That's what, you know, a lot of studies are showing. So there's going to be this mental expectation that, you know, we're in a high touch business. So how are we going to put the two together? Social distancing, high touch, high contact business. That is something we really have to think about. And the other thing is this preoccupation with hygiene. You know, everything should be squeaky clean and you know, make sure you clean. When you get shopping bags home from the supermarket, for minutes we clean up the bags before we even touch them. So this thing about hygiene, we're going to have to really make customers feel comfortable. It is really about trying to show them that we're taking all the steps we understand what they're feeling, what they're going through, the distancing, the hygiene element. So we're going to have to focus a lot on that. And as well, I think our customers have become self-reliant. They are doing their roots at home, they're doing their nails, so they're improvising. And so we're going to be dealing with those kind of situations where maybe they're not going to come back to us that frequently. Are we ready for that? The other thing is, you know, they're very connected. They're on social media and you know, the numbers are staggering. I was looking at India, their online users has gone up 50 times. So when the customers come back to us, they're going to be much more knowledgeable, much more aware, how we market, how we communicate with them, all of that will have to be shifting. So the one thing I'll say is that we're not certain about anything these days, but the one thing that we're certain about is that the future has changed and our customers are changing. That is certain.
Just even speaking about being on social media, it was an interesting thing that I found. It said with more than 25 million Instagram business accounts and more than $7 billion being spent on Instagram advertising last year, it just shows, imagine, and it's gone up now, I think it's risen in 60% in the last month, the amount of Instagram users. So this is a huge area, isn't it, for all of us? Is everyone working their Instagram pages? I see some salons have actually pulled back and they're not putting up so much. What are your thoughts on that? Let's see, Emily.
Hi. So I've been making a lot of use out of my social media. Even myself, I've been doing stuff that I've never really wanted to do, like videos, but I'm trying to inspire my team. And I think clients want to see your face. They don't want to see the back of someone's head all the time. So as much how cringy some of them are, I think you just got to do it. And everyone knows you're in your own environment at home, and it's normal to not wear makeup around the house. So Instagram's really helped me, and when you see how many visits we've had from new visits we've had to our account a week is amazing. So it's a really strong, and I'd really advise it to anyone to push their Instagram and just be creative on your content as much as you can, because that's what clients wants to see, and doing competitions and engaging with them, I think is really strong.
And like what you said, like right now, people aren't expecting perfect. Like, look at us, we're in our living rooms or whatever, or, you know, they're not expecting to see a banner behind me with Maria Dowling logo splashed all over it, and expecting to see this. They're expecting to see you in your casual clothes. They're expecting you to make mistakes. Like if we say something wrong, we say, oh, sorry, I made something, you know, and you move on from it. So I think really now it's a great time for any of us to practice and to work on it, so that when we do get through this, then we'll put up the screen, and then we'll be ready to do it more on the next level that people expect at that stage.
Yeah, I think definitely, sorry, Emily, getting in there.
Put my hand up.
I think definitely like a huge thing, like the same as what Emily says. A couple of months ago, I had a huge fear. I think when we went on stage for Professional Beauty, that was me facing a huge fear of talking in front of people. And since then, now I've pushed myself, because I realise, you know, that it's nice to be able to put a face to a brand, you know, to be a little bit more personable. So since then, I've really been working on that, sort of trying to develop myself to overcome these fears, just to be able to make people realise that, you know, we are normal, you know, normal people in these times that are facing the same problems as anybody else. And to just, you know, put a friendly face, and it's not just about the hair and the image of the salon. It's just, you know, we're all exactly the same, and I think a good thing is what we've really found here in Abu Dhabi is it's like a more of a community spirit. So there's different ways of connecting with people, definitely. So we haven't really been putting out many pictures of hair, because what's the point at the minute? I think your social media marketing has to be very current to the situation for it to be proper marketing. So yeah, we backed right off of that and just sort of made things a little bit more fun. A few quizzes, a few videos from me, and yeah, I think Anthony, he's also had a good go at it.
I've been trying, but like Tara said, I think there is very little. We've kind of took a bit of a step back from our social media, because like there's very little point in putting hair pictures up at the moment. So we obviously the first 2 weeks we were promoting the online shop and kind of what product to get and everything like that, and then now we're at a bit of a standstill with it, if I'm honest. I'm kind of at a crossroads of what to do on social media right now, because everything's a little bit uncertain.
It's like what you said, Tara. It's like now we can put up the little jokes. I mean, isn't it funny that now we have time to sit down and someone sends you something, you're like, oh God, that's so funny. We wouldn't have entertained that before. It's like we wouldn't have had time. But even now, like today, I put up something that was something to do with a fringe, you know, don't cut your fringe. But it's like what ideally you want it to look like and what the reality of it is. All these little messages for the clients, isn't it, to keep them away from the scissors?
Yeah, just keeping it a friendly, you know, like, this is the only way we can all connect at the moment. So just, you know, being able to make somebody smile or give them a tip on something or get them through the day is everything that it's all about at the moment for me. So yeah, I think that's the only way we can really be connecting on social media.
Yeah, Emily?
Oh, sorry, Ruska. Yeah, I was going to say it could be the way forward to start doing online consultation to limit the amount of time in the salon. That could be a thing of the future. So who knows?
That's a really good point, Emily, because people don't like to come for a consultation beforehand, like if it's a color correction or anything like that. So that's a really good point to make. Galina, you spend a lot of time on videoing. I see you all the time.
Yeah, so once we were closed, but yet not limited to driving through the city, I've arranged the series where I wanted to say to all the managers about current products and services that are offered globally for nails. And I was so sad, and I've tested all my cameras on my own, although I have a cameraman, and I've done the first video, and then boom, we're locked now. I cannot access my salon. I was so looking forward. I found the finger dummy. So yeah, I thought that it's a brilliant time to share the knowledge now with everyone, including the managers, you know, lifting and elevating the knowledge and the skills. But yeah, now I'm stuck, and now I'm thinking of other ways how to do that. As a salon, we kind of rotate the same picture all the time. What I found out is that by keeping the live pictures, even though it's an old content where hairdressers are working or the manicurists, people tend to engage in, oh, you're working? No, we're not, but we can help you with advice. If you send us a picture of what you have on your hair or nails, we can do that now. We can advise you what to use, where to get what and how. In fact, I'm going to be doing now a video on how to shorten your outgrown acrylics. Yeah, I'll do a video on how to cover up your lines. And if you're not a hairdresser, and actually I've never had such a length of a fringe ever before, and I have super professional scissors at home, but I'm not touching anything myself. So yeah, I'm going to make that video now on how to take care of the basics: eyelashes, hair growth, and pedicures and manicure. So watch out.
I'll be watching.
Ruksher, have you put any measures in place when you do reopen to try and make up for lost revenue?
So what we've thought about, Galina, is actually, I mean, now it depends because it doesn't look like we're opening up by the looks of it. It might carry on another week, 2 weeks, we have no idea. But what we have thought is if we do open in another, say, week or 2 weeks, it will be smack bang in the middle of Ramadan, right? So people are in any case used to having late opening hours. And now that we have to also accommodate, I have to remember, our team. Therefore, we had actually thought that we'll open really long hours. We won't be allowed to have so many people in the salon. So we'll have to sort of have shifts. Maybe we'll be allowed only 30% staff in. We have no idea yet. But we're sort of putting in measures of possibly having them in at different times of the day. And then maybe a bunch of staff that come in one day, a bunch of staff another day, and then, give everybody a turn to get in and do their clients. So that's the first thing we've been sort of looking at as to how we want to do that. But really the clarity will only come when we know exactly how much we're allowed to work. But Ramadan will help us with longer hours for sure. And at the moment, the team said, don't worry, we can work 7 days a week. We can do whatever you want. We don't want a day off.
Yes, great. Now in Abu Dhabi, it was slightly different, wasn't it, Shabana and Tara? Because even though we were shut down, you weren't actually forced to shut down in Abu Dhabi.
You go, Shabana. Yeah.
Shabana.
So yeah, we decided we shut our locations across the board between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So we didn't, we took that decision that that's the right thing to do. And so yeah, Abu Dhabi shut as well for us.
Yeah, we also did the same. There are still salons open, and we are still currently closed. But I mean, in contact with you guys all the time, and I think it was the full pressure of knowing what is the right decision or not the right decision to do. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for my team and all of the clients. So the relief of closing felt good, and I think what. Now we've been closed for 3 weeks. So if we do decide to take that decision here and open like other salons, at least we know that we've done our bit here. We've been closed for 3 weeks. The girls have been in isolation, and then we would decide how we would come back. So by far, we couldn't have carried on as we were, just the unknown and everything. So I'm glad that we took that decision also to close.
And of course, we did have people who thought that it was okay to do home servicing, which is quite an unusual thing, isn't it? Like, why would they thought, Ruksher, what would you like to add to that? I know we speak about it.
Yes, we speak about it all the time. So basically, when all that started happening, as you all know, we went nuts on our chat with, I mean, it's insane how people can put, forget about the clients at home, and you have to think about your staff. You're putting them at such a huge risk of catching it, coming back. Most of the team generally is sharing, except for us, most of our team is sharing with other girls. You're putting those people at risk as well. And who knows when they go out in the supermarket, and if they're young, they don't even show the symptoms. I mean, I heard of a story through my staff that they knew somebody that went in for a home service, and the lady in the house is saying, oh, my husband isn't supposed to be in isolation. I mean, how irresponsible is that?
Crazy.
No, I absolutely don't agree with it at all. And I just think we've all made the right decision. And the more we implement it, the faster we can all get back into the salons.
Yes, I think that's how we all looked upon it. Let's all step back so we can all get back in. Because as long as people were doing home servicing, it wasn't helping any of the rest of us because the virus was still spreading. There was that famous case in Korea, wasn't it? Case 31, they call it, where this one lady from China goes to Korea and she herself is responsible for 50% of the people who got the virus in Korea. By one person, Chris Fade was on the radio talking about it. And that's when it really brought it home for me. Oh my God, we could be spreading it and we don't even know. Galina, yeah.
I just want to add to it as numbers. We are in UAE. UAE is very cautious, and the security systems are built here very well. So whether it's a home service or anything, any movement, you can move few cars across the road when it's not allowed and consider 14 days being locked again, because the virus is developing within 14 days. And then if people wonder why are we locked even for 2 more weeks, that means that previously there was another movement that was not allowed. So basically we could have been done with the situation way faster if people were responsible. So it's not just a home service to survive now, it's the movement that we do. We have a lot of cameras here, and the authorities are doing a great job in that. And if they see us moving, that means they will have to be forced to close us again for another 2 weeks. So it's just frustrating that people don't get that point. So
Shabana, you mentioned when we come back to the salon that, you know, we're going to see a different pattern in clients. For me, I think what's probably going to happen is for the first week or so, we're going to have root retouches because everyone's going to be like wanting the roots done. But after that, I think we might see people pulling back because people might still think, you know, we had the virus last week. Now they're telling us we're okay to go and do. I think also social distance, and people have gotten used to being more isolated at home. I can't even imagine going back into the salon and having it busy and lots of people. Even now when I think of that, I think, oh my gosh, no, I couldn't even do that. Anyone got anything to say on that?
So I want to say something. I've been looking at China, Maria Darling. You know, so we have China's opened up, and interestingly, I was listening to the IMF managing director yesterday who was talking about it, and she was saying that the industries that are picking up are manufacturing. They're really getting back and trying to get back, but it's the service and the consumer side of the economy that is taking its time. And restaurants, people are not coming back to as much. They're still coming in to take takeaways. So I feel even when we open up, it's going to be a slow pickup. I hope I'm wrong. It could be there's the other school of thought that talks about the pent up demand, and as soon as we open up, there's going to be people rushing into our spas and salons. I don't know. I tend to think that it's going to be the other side where it's going to be slow, and especially people who are in malls, like a lot of our locations are in malls. It's going to be much slower. Maybe the community ones would be better, but people are going to think twice about coming in and being touched and being so up close after being distanced. So, yeah.
Totally, I agree with that. But my roots coming through say, help me, help me. So I think for any of us that have like gray roots, not that I have, of course, but I have. But I would definitely go to the salon because I'm desperate. But if I was someone like balayage or ombre or highlights where I didn't mind the roots coming out, I think I would probably leave it. But for my roots, that's why I'm thinking for our root retouch clients, they're definitely going to be in. Anyone else with that? Tara? Sorry, Emma.
I just saw something actually yesterday that I think is amazing that will do really well. Schwarzkopf have a 10-minute development time colour, which I think will be huge. I'm not Schwarzkopf, I'm Goldwell, but I just think that was amazing. I think that will do really, really well, because the way, that type of service, they can be in and out within an hour. So I thought that was pretty genius and very good for this time.
Emily, you had your hand up.
Yeah, we were looking at doing a lot of recruitment going back. Well, we were just about to recruit more girls, but now I've kind of taken a step back and thinking maybe we need to keep the salon a little bit quieter for the next, especially now we're coming into summer. So I've really got a big question mark against that, whether we get more staff or just keep the ones we have and keep the salon a little bit quieter and a little bit more spacious.
But it'll also be interesting when you talk about like maybe CVs going around or movement of staff, won't it? I mean, I suppose a lot of it will be is how people were looked after maybe during this time.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm not sure many salons will be recruiting after this. I think people will probably be knuckling down with the people that they have. And like you said, allowing the space in the salon. And I would imagine anyway, maybe. Galina, were you going to say something? You put your hand up?
I would like to stick in a little bit of beta input, and I would support Shabana as well, the behavior. First of all, we're in the country where we don't have much access to the survey. And by having 2 kids in the school now, I can see that schools, large group of schools are now offering a survey on whether people would like to go and continue after lockdown on online learning. What does it mean to us? That means some of the mothers, after the country will be open, will move away and we will lose customers. So I wouldn't be opportunistic either in anything projecting in future. If you don't manage to downsize your expense on every column of your debt, not overall, up to at least 30%, I don't think that you as a business would make it. So it's time now to look at the numbers, and it's time now to make decisions. It's nothing like, you know, people were sitting and growing their roots, and then we have, whoa, everybody is back. Yes, there will be a different behavior. People will be more careful. There will be no more handshakes. People will be scared. A lot of people will be scared. And the second thing is we're losing a lot of people that are our potential clients, and they will be bankruptcy here. And we have to remember that. So we have to take our thought about our expense or our turnover now, not later, not when we see how it will go on, no more. There is no more support. It's a very heavy economical situation for everyone. The production is losing all over the world, and there is no big daddy who will come and say, oh guys, let me help you here. No, it's us now, us losing. So we need to be very cautious on the numbers after we open up.
Even when you talk about that, like clients coming back into the salon, what we're going to see is, you know, the expenditure of people is going to be different, because most people, if not everyone, either they or their husbands have had their salaries cut. So people's income has changed, isn't it? The way that they used to spend before. And already before this, I found people were like looking at their bill, looking to see how they could maybe bring down the cost. But so we have to keep that in mind. Anthony, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I do think the spending habit of the consumer is going to be completely different from here on in. I think at the start, there is going to be that crave of connection and that crave of feel-good factor. Everyone's been locked down for a certain period of time. So I think at the start, we will see the salons busy. But after that point, I think that it's going to be extremely different, because people's salaries have been cut. They're going to be watching the money. The future is unclear. You know, the economy is suffering. So I do think that for me, obviously we're all using this time wisely, but for me, I've really looked at like the value of money to what we're giving the client, you know what I mean? I think that's important for us all as salons to make sure that there's value in the service, and that it is something that's worthwhile. Obviously, there's parts of the salon that is essential, and there's parts of it that is not essential. But I think making the essential parts definitely value for money and worthwhile to the client will help us go through. And if you look at any recession, that's where, you know, that's how beauty businesses have thrived, is having the service there and having the value in the service. So I think that's really important.
Ruksher?
So while I agree with everybody, definitely we'll have a rush of people coming in initially, and then people will start watching, because there have been people that have lost jobs or salary cuts or whatever. But now a lot of clients may not even travel at the moment, because they'll be a little bit wary to travel, you see, because they've not been able to travel. Even when the airlines open up, they're not going to be rushing out of here for the summer, I think. And I also think that after being in isolation, lots of people crave that human contact. When they come into our salons, they really crave that camaraderie, especially regular clients. You know, like when we've been messaging clients and talking to them, oh, how nice of you to call, how lovely, thank you for calling me. Yesterday, I had one of my stylists call one of the clients who did a box color. Didn't want to speak to the manager, me, no one. She only wanted to speak to Tanya. And when Tanya called her, all she did was hear Tanya's voice and say, don't worry, when you're back, we'll sort it out. That's all. She just wanted to hear her voice. So I think as hairdressers especially, and also nail technicians that have their regular clients, our waxing girls have their regular clients, they want to have that contact again. They may space their visits out, but I really don't think it's going to be as dire. I pray, I'm keeping my positive energies there. I don't think it's going to be as dire as we think. I really don't. Because the beauty business has proven time and again through recession, like Anthony said, and after the World War, after all those things, that the beauty business is the first thing that actually picks up. There will be a change in behavior for sure, 100%. We have to adapt to that. We have to adapt. Change is inevitable, you see, and we have to adapt to anything that changes, and we will. We will. As you all know, we are all in this together, and together we are stronger. Simple.
Perfect way to finish it there, Ruksher. Together we are stronger. Emma, calling you back in. Is there any questions that anyone has? I can see that there's questions.
Yes, that is amazing insight, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Yes, I'm gonna kind of direct these questions, I think, to you, Maria, to then feed on to the panel. There is a question here about whether you've considered to check the temperature of the customers when they walk in the shop and what you think about that.
For me, before we finished, I think we'll definitely be getting back to checking the temperatures. I mean, at that time, the clients liked it, we liked it. I'm not sure it was 100% accurate, but you know, it was one of those things that we weren't told that we needed to do it, but I felt like it was a security for the customer. So we will definitely we'll probably all end up going back. I hate to say it, but I think we're all going to go back to being as stressed out as we were before we left. Because is everyone's tools clean? Is there social distancing? Do we have 2 meters? Are they okay when they come in? What if a client comes in that does have a temperature? How then do we approach that? I'm sorry, you can't have your hair done because you've got a temperature. We're all going to go back to that. So I think we all need to get ourselves almost pumped up again for that stress that's going to come with that. Anyone else got anything on that?
Yeah, I think it's totally like sort of thinking about, you know, the thought of gearing up to come back. It's like we obviously need to be able to communicate with the clients what we will be doing from a salon point of view. But I think it's also very, very clear what you expect from the client coming into the salon. You know, these will be the policies, and to communicate these through different ways, you know, a WhatsApp follow-up, a Google Docs, you know, exactly what we will be doing, but what is expected from the client also, and to stick by these things, and that they have to be followed through. And if they're unhappy with that, then unfortunately we do have to say, look, I'm sorry, you know, we can't do it. I think
they'll be so used to
it. Will expect it too, Maria. You know, clients will also expect that level because everybody is exposed to the news and what's going on. Clients will expect it. So I think that there will be the odd one that may be, oh no, I don't want to do this, or that may get upset, but I think people will be reassured if we are doing that. Once the thermometers come back in stock.
Absolutely. Emma.
How do you manage staff salaries at this point, considering that this lockdown might extend for another month or 2?
I think it's a worry. You know, we all got through April or March. We're getting through April. Of course, there's salary cuts. May, you know, everyone now, it's all about how deep is your pocket, you know, and how far you're going to be able to go. Financially, how far are people going to be able to go? I mean, I think before we started on this, what a lot of people now are seeing is that maybe a lot of us, or a lot of people, a lot of salons weren't so secure in their salons. You know, you were paying the way. We'd had the VAT introduced, that made a huge difference. We'd had the health insurance for all the staff introduced, that made a difference to the bottom lines. We weren't able to have price increases because of everything else that had gone through. So how many people are actually, you know, got the cash in the bank? So I hate to say it, but I think, you know, it's survival of the fittest now. Who's going to survive? So I say, anything else to add to that?
We, this month, I've been very transparent with my team, what's happening this month, and also about, you know, the lead up for what lies the next 4 months. I think that's probably the biggest thing in terms of keeping our team solid, is complete transparency as to, you know, what could possibly happen. This month my staff are on 2 weeks holiday pay, but if we remain closed for the rest of April, it will have to be 2 weeks unpaid. And then more likely when we do come back, realistically, there's only going to be part-time work for everybody. So obviously with part-time work means there's going to be less money. But, you know, I'm fully in contact with the team and just, you know, communicating with everybody, and just, you know, we can only all do what we can do. But I think communication is really, really important at the moment.
Shabana, do you have anything to add to that with what you're doing with your staff, seeing you're such a huge group?
See, Emma, I like what Maria said. It depends on individual organizations and companies and salons. Everyone is at a different position regarding cash flow, and it all goes back to how deep are your pockets, as Maria said. So and I think you know, there's different things people can do. There's you cut salaries, you give them leave with pay, leave without pay, you send them back home. So one has to consider various options, and we are going through each one by one. You know, we're looking at everything. We're in the process of because there's so much uncertainty. We don't know when we're going to open. Yeah, we kind of everyday changes on this point at this time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Anthony mentioned. Oh, can you hear me? Sorry, yeah.
If we were actually told that we're definitely opening up, let's just say the 5th of May, for example, then we can all go about saying this is how we're going to work it. But we all thought we were going to be going back on the 8th of April, right? The 8th of April. So for me, nothing was going to really change through April, because if we'd gone back to work, we would have been busy, we would have met up, and everything would have continued as normal. So as a salon owner, I probably would have been just down 2 weeks. The 8th of May passed by now, or April, and we were talking then about the 19th. You see, I don't know days now, and I hardly even know months. Now we were talking about our new goalpost, light at the end of the tunnel, was the 19th, between the 19th and the 22nd, let's say. So for me, I'm like, okay, if we can get back into work, this is how much we can make, we'll still be okay. It'll be a bit different, but we'll be okay. So it's very hard, I find, to communicate with the staff, because at all times, maybe because I'm a smaller team, I'm like, look, if we can get back in, we'll make it. So, but with every goalpost that's coming, I'm like, okay, now I have to make a decision. Now the decision has to be made. If we get to the 19th, 22nd, and then we're looking into May, and if people say like the month of May, then we have to make another decision. But I just wish, and no one knows. Worldwide, no one knows. We watch places like England and America and Italy, and it's a disaster. Thank God for like the Dubai. They're working so hard on this, sterilizing the streets and keeping us all safe. So our numbers are staying down. And yes, the numbers have popped up now, but they're doing a lot more testing. So it's like weighing scales, it's balanced because of that. But it's just the uncertainty of not knowing what date we're going to reopen.
Absolutely. I think Anthony obviously touched on earlier about the e-commerce IDL initiative as a way of keeping revenues coming through your salon. Anthony, do you want to add any more to that? As to, you know, obviously salaries, it's very uncertain, but with these kind of IDL initiatives, BGX, etc., is that something that you see as a positive thing that can help bring enough revenue for the moment?
Well, to be honest, something's better than nothing. Regarding salaries and stuff, personally, I haven't made a decision on it yet because I don't know what lies ahead. So, and I can't communicate something that I'm not 100% sure of. So I've left the team kind of alone regarding that, and I haven't wanted to kind of put fear in them or anything like that right now until I know exactly what's happening for April. So until I know that, I can't make a decision on it. With the Ideal and other companies that have approaches about the online shop, yes, it's an income. Yes, it's going to help. And, you know, people were really responsive to it. With the lockdown that happened, the 24-hour lockdown, obviously we can't get deliveries out, but we are hoping that it will all be back up and running next week. And we can kind of start working again with the shipping companies and getting something coming through that then the staff are looked after.
Sorry, Emma, what I am a little bit disappointed in is that the insurance companies, So for example, like after Kelly from Salon Inc., who's part of our group, and their salon burnt down, and Ruksher, you're the same. I mean, it made it quite clear to us that we needed to have salon insurance. Now, when I did my salon insurance, I made sure to cover for everything. So I'm covered for if something happens in the salon, I'm covered for moving to another salon, I'm covered for salaries for while we're moving, I'm covered for, as far as I was concerned, I was covered for everything. And there was a part in it that's called, what's it called, Ruksher? It's like when you don't expect
business interruption.
Business interruption, right? So we're well covered for business interruption, but it doesn't cover the virus.
It doesn't cover the virus.
But yet it's business interruption. Isn't it amazing? You think you're covered for everything. And for something like that, it would have really helped now with the business.
So Maria, I've spoken to our insurance people, and we've already put in a claim for our its location, because that was not in our hands. The hotel is closed. But even then, the insurance agent said it has to be some damage to your business. Any kind of business interruption means damage, physical damage, burning, breaking, building falling down, whatever you want to call it, water damage. So who knows? Maybe the thing is, the government here has been so proactive in putting things into place with things like rent and support from the banks with people's mortgages, etc., etc. So maybe, who knows, they may make a rule for insurance that, if they make that kind of rule, you never know.
But even when you speak about the banks, I mean, the banks are only giving support to anyone who has a loan with them. They're not supporting anyone who needs a loan. They're not supporting anyone like in 2 months' time. So, does that mean then if someone's in a mall,
because the thing is, the rules, the government is also learning as this thing goes along, and they might realize, looking at other countries, that that is something that would be a good thing to put into action. And the way they have led the way at the moment is amazing. So,
I mean, look at Qatar at the moment. Qatar are paying now towards the salaries of both the locals and the expats. So that's a good thing. So hopefully what they'll do is they'll see that and think, yes, that's what we need to do in Dubai as well, which would help business owners a lot if they didn't have to worry about the salon salaries, and if they didn't have to worry about the rent. We'd all be happy just sitting here, wouldn't we? But it's those two big cost factors that affect every salon.
There's just to add on to that, Maria, someone's just asked, is there any specific labour law in regard to the salary payment at the current situation?
Ruksher, you're nodding your head.
Yes. So the labour law has come out with sort of an annex, sort of supplement to your current contract, which can be put into implementation only for the time that this situation lasts. You can't make it, say the situation lasts 3 months, that's all. You can't extend it for years, which has various situations on there that you can put people out of work, you can have unpaid leave, you can have part leave, you can have paid leave. But if you are asking somebody to leave, they need to go onto a virtual job market where it enables them to then get other jobs. So they have put some certain systems into place. I haven't, like Anthony, I also haven't looked at it very closely, purely because it's so uncertain at the moment. I don't know what tomorrow brings. So I will take a decision, but in my head, I pretty much know what I'm going to do pretty much. Like if people have leave, they can take it and manage with that.
Legally, it was always allowed to reduce the salaries up to 30% in labor law. Before COVID-19, you could reduce it. The only thing is that both parties has to come to the agreement, and it has to be signed in electronic way. Nowadays, everything is signed. Now, the annex that is there that Ruksher mentioned, it's not clear yet how that should be signed. To make sure that people agree to this, then you need to make them sign it somehow on the piece of paper and send it to you, because at the moment labor transactions are done by electronic signatures. You don't have that, later on it will be difficult to prove. So make sure that if there is an agreement, then it should be signed with ID and everything, that you can really prove that that person signed it. And yes, there was always a possibility to reducing the salaries up to 30% on both parts, and that would be permanent. If you reduce the salary, yes, it would be permanent. So yet subject to approval of Ministry of Labor as well. But if both parties are together, then yes, you can reduce permanently up to 30%.
Okay, fab. One final question. Have you guys thought about going 100% digital with consent forms, appointment booking, self-check-in, self-check-out once you reopen?
This is something that we've actually been working towards before this. I decided last year I wanted to be completely paperless. So we're developing like a client app, and they'll be able to check out and everything with Apple Pay through that app. There is no more like paper notes, anything like that. We integrated online booking just before closure. So hopefully we're more or less digital soon, but still there's little bits to cover. But yeah, I think it's definitely something. I think worldwide it's going to move forward anyway, but it's definitely something that's coming.
Just before we finished, we were doing a trial with one of the girls on all their appointments and everything are on their own phones. Yeah. So this will now get rid of the record cards. But of course, me being cautious like I am, I'm like, okay, let's do this for 2 months. We'll do both the phones and we'll do the record cards just to make sure that everyone's following the system. But the plan was just before we broke up that everyone then would go on more digital on their phones. So
we also did that, Maria, just as we just got the cloud in shortcuts activated in our salons. And actually, literally the day before lockdown, Lauren, my manager, was going to order our iPads. Yeah. And that's now that has been put on. So still that's all up and running again. I think once we get back into the salon, definitely it's something we have to do.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, guys. And I don't think this will be the end. I think, you know, we'll get you back again in a few weeks just to see where we are in terms of the situation. But if anyone has any further questions that they'd like to send on to my email address, specifically those who've attended, I'll be sure to forward them onto the group. And we're all in this together, as we've said, so let's continue that way. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
We've still got an amazing lineup for the rest of the day. We've got have you thought about a mental wellness strategy for your colleagues and your employees in your workplace? We've got that at 1:30 p.m. We've got Nergish Wadia Austin back at 3:30, talking about how to keep clients committed to your business. So this is the final day of Virtual Hair and Beauty Week for now, with a great lineup ahead. But we've started off on a great positive morning. So thank you all so much for your time. Keep safe, keep well, and take care, everyone.
Thanks, Emma. Maria.
Bye.
Bye.
That went quite well, I thought. Are we offline?
Yeah, I think so. Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Are we still live?
We're still live, guys. We're trying to get you off.